Hello, it's Elizabeth Busby here, and welcome to Discerning Marriage. Today, we are going to talk about what to do if your partner has a pornography addiction. The number one thing that I want to encourage you to do is encourage your partner to get help. This is a sort of thing that when men and women struggle with it, the enemy wants to keep them quiet and wants to keep them away from the light and wants to keep it in the darkness. Often what I have seen, and this is broad speaking, doesn't apply to everyone. Often when men are struggling with pornography, the enemy whispers, everyone's doing it, so there's no reason to tell anyone. You don't need to be ashamed. And the enemy whispers to women, you're the only one doing it. You have every reason to be ashamed. Tell nobody. But both of those lies have the end game of the person's in the darkness. So if they are not getting professional help, please encourage them to get professional help. Pornography, especially internet pornography, which I am sure 99.9% of the people who are using pornography are using internet pornography. It exists to be what's called a hyperstimulus. And just like you eat something like Doritos, and the food scientists have made Doritos and put stuff in Doritos to make it so that you just want to eat more. You can call it like a food with no breaks. You just want to keep eating and eating and eating, even though if you're like, I feel terrible and this doesn't even taste that good, but I can't stop. Internet pornography is designed to be the same way. So you can because you can open multiple tabs, you can click from thing to thing. There's just so many ways to navigate it that wasn't possible with a magazine back in the day. Your brain is constantly upping what it thinks it needs to get the same kind of high. And so it's very, very, very tricky to untangle and almost always needs some sort of professional help, whether that's something like a course that an expert has put together or a program that an expert has put together or straight up therapy. And a therapeutic program. You're probably going to need, your partner's probably going to need some professional help. And it takes a tremendous amount of humility to be able to admit that. But what you can point out to your partner is it's that humility that is going to help rebuild the trust in your mind that has been violated by this infidelity of the pornography. So first of all, encourage the person to get help. Second of all, do not serve as that person's accountability partner. So when your partner, often in treatment of any sort of addiction, but this one in particular, you'll have what's called an accountability partner. And anytime you slip up and fall and look at pornography, you'll tell your accountability partner, or you'll have a software do it. You'll put a software on your computer and an email will get sent out or whatever. As a therapist, as a marriage and family therapist, I am very against the romantic partner being the accountability partner, because even though that person may be the safest emotional person in the porn user's life, they're also the most vulnerable to injury. They're the one that's going to be hurt the worst, other than the person himself or herself, that's going to be hurt the worst by the pornography usage. So not only is it this person looked at porn and they need help with this accountability, whatever, it's also like a dagger into the partner's heart. You need a totally neutral third party who cares about the porn user's health and emotional health, but isn't emotionally invested in whether or not the person looks at it, other than for the care of the person's heart, right? So even though the person using porn would be very tempted to be you're the only person I've told I want you to serve as my accountability partner, please don't do that. The third thing, which the wording of this actually came as a question initially, so I'm reframing it a little, but the wording of the initial question was using the word addiction. So I'm assuming that everybody knows that it's not appropriate. But just in case someone's watching this video and thinks that there may be room for pornography in a healthy marriage or a healthy sexual life, there is not. There is not room for pornography in a healthy sexual life. So do not buy into the lie that you just need to incorporate pornography into your own life. I actually have a friend who this was part of their story and really sat down with me. This was a very old interview, so we'll link it. It was a very long time ago. But she came on this show and talked to me about her experience with finding out that her husband was addicted to pornography and then bringing the pornography into their marriage. And it was a disaster. She was the first to admit it was a disaster. So I really want to encourage you to not do that. And it can be really tempting for a number of reasons, but don't do it. Don't do it. Please just take my word and don't do it. It's a recipe for disaster. And while it feels a little bit self-serving to tell you this, we at the TOB Institute really care about you being able to live healthy, thriving marriages. And so we have invested a lot in creating a course for you that talks about how to have these really hard conversations. And we cover pornography specifically in this course because so many people struggle with it. So if you find yourself discerning marriage with someone who is struggling with pornography and need to find a way to even broach that subject with them, Like maybe you've never even talked to them about it. You just know about it. Or maybe you have talked about it, but you haven't gotten very far. This is something that I will accompany you through in next step. So there's a link in the description if you're interested. And the last piece of advice I want to give you if your partner struggles with pornography is to work as hard as you can to speak in a gentle and merciful tone, not only like to that person, but in your mind about their struggles. You're going to be really, really hurt. Like this is a form of infidelity. And as a marriage counselor, I'm giving you free permission to say like, I feel like I was cheated on. And that's true. You were cheated on. Climaxes in general are meant to be a gift to the other person. So anytime that climax is used apart from that goal of intimacy is a violation. And you feel it in your heart that it's a violation, but especially when there's a third or fourth or fifth, whatever party involved in it, like it's a real struggle. And so you're going to feel a lot of pain, very justifiably, but harshness is not going to do anything but drive the person back into darkness and shame. And it's going to sometimes take a very heroic effort to be able to be gentle and merciful, but you can do hard things. And if you can't, if you're actually not capable of it, please find a therapist to help walk you through it and the wounds that are keeping you from being able to be merciful. So those are my thoughts about what to do if you find out that your partner has a porn addiction, or what to do if you already know and you're feeling kind of hopeless about it. Yeah, these are all of my thoughts, and I'm not all of them. These are a lot of my thoughts, and I really hope that they're helpful. If you want any advice on your own situation, I do answer my DMs personally on Instagram, so you're welcome to message me your story. You're also welcome to leave a comment if you want to do that. And yeah, it's an honor to accompany you through these really, really hard things. We're turning a corner in our culture where these things are talked about more, and I'm very, very grateful to get to be a part of the conversation and honored that you're spending some of your time with us at the Institute, the Theology of the Body Institute, learning how to thrive in your Christian life. So we'll be praying for you as we publish this video. And until next time, stay close to the heart of Jesus and be not afraid. Bye.